You ever see a meme coin, one with a funny dog on it, go from basically zero to making someone a millionaire overnight, and you just think, how? How does that even happen? You see these promises of insane returns, but what's really going on behind the scenes is a kind of dark science. So in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the shadowy world of meme coin manipulation.
It all kicks off with a question just like this, usually from some influencer online. This is the bait. It's the idea that you could turn just a couple $100 into a life-changing amount of money. And in the wild west of meme coins, it doesn't just feel like a long shot, it starts to feel like an actual expectation. But here's the real question. Are those incredible gains just about getting lucky?
Well, here's the hard truth. For so many of these coins that just explode out of nowhere, it has absolutely nothing to do with luck. The game is rigged from the very beginning. What looks like a random rocket ship to the moon is more often than not a meticulously planned scheme. And it's designed for one thing and one thing only, to separate you from your money. So, why do people fall for this again and again? It's pretty simple, actually. These schemes are built on one of the most powerful ideas in the world, the promise of getting rich fast. They tap right into our psychology.
Honestly, meme coins are a full-on assault on our brains. They use these super simple, easy-to-remember names. A goofy-looking cat, an internet meme. It's easy, it feels fun, and it doesn't require a ton of research. It taps right into our love for fads. Our brains are basically wired to think, hey, if everyone's talking about it, it must be a good thing. It creates this false sense of community, like you're all in on the joke, and hopefully in on the profits.
So how do they actually pull it off? You'd think it's some super complex, genius-level plan, right? Nope. There's a shockingly simple playbook that scammers are literally teaching each other how to use online. So let's break it down. Let's look at the anatomy of the most common scam out there, the rug pull. The playbook is just 4 steps. Step 1, they just copy a coin that's already blowing up. No originality needed. Step 2, and this is the really dirty part, they use special tools to fake the creator's wallet. They make it look like the coin was launched by some crypto billionaire, a whale. Step 3, they launch with almost no money in it. We're talking maybe a couple $100. This gives traders the illusion that it's an exclusive, stealth launch, and that the so-called whale is about to drop in millions. And then, once enough real people have bought in, they hit step 4, the rug pull itself. They just withdraw all the money that allows people to buy and sell the coin. It's called the liquidity pool. And once it's gone, poof, the money vanishes, the developers are ghosts, and the coin becomes untradeable. The project is dead, and all the investors are just left holding a bag of completely worthless tokens.
But hold on. To get people to buy in before they pull the rug, they need hype, right? A lot of it. And just like everything else we've talked about, that hype is totally 100% fake. It's all a carefully orchestrated performance.
So while you're scrolling online and seeing what looks like this massive organic wave of excitement, what's really happening behind the scenes is a coordinated attack. The manipulators are like puppet masters, and they're pulling all the strings to create this perfect illusion of massive demand.
And this is the performance you actually see. You'll get these alpha calls in private chat groups telling you, hey, this is the next big one, get in now. You'll see tons of accounts on X all shilling the exact same coin at the exact same time. They might even pay a big influencer to give it a shout out. And all the while, they have bots running in the background, making thousands of tiny purchases to make the trading volume look huge.
And all that manufactured hype, all of it, has just one purpose: to create a chart that looks exactly like this. Just a beautiful green line going straight up, a parabolic curve. And let me tell you, this chart becomes their #1 marketing tool. It triggers a massive case of FOMO, the fear of missing out, and it sucks in waves and waves of real, unsuspecting buyers who think they've just stumbled upon the next 100x gem.
All right, so this brings us to the grand finale of the whole heist. The manipulators have built the hype, the price is skyrocketing, and now they're just sitting back, waiting for that one perfect moment to cash out and vanish forever.
So, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do they know when they've hit the absolute peak? Well, it's not a guess. They are watching for very, very specific signals that tell them the hype has officially reached its maximum possible level.
They're on the lookout for a few key things. First, that chart goes completely vertical. Then maybe you see a mainstream news site write an article about the crazy new meme coin. Social media is just flooded with it. You can't escape it. But the ultimate, final signal? Your friend, the one who knows nothing about crypto, texts you asking, hey, should I buy this thing?
When that happens, the creators know they've hit the top. It's time to pull the plug.
This quote, it's actually from an online tutorial that teaches people how to do these scams. It's just chilling. There's no complicated code, no dramatic button. It's one click. The liquidity is removed and the token is wrecked. And just like that, it's over.
The result is as instant as it is catastrophic. The price just collapses to zero, a single brutal red line on the chart. And everyone who bought in, especially the people who got FOMO at the very top, is left holding a bag of completely worthless digital dust. The heist is complete.
Okay, I know that all sounds incredibly bleak, but here's the good news. Just by understanding this playbook, you've already built your best defense. Now that you know how the trick works, you can start to spot the red flags and protect yourself. In this market, knowledge really is your armor.
So how can you tell the difference between a real project and a potential scam? Well, a real coin usually has its ownership spread out across thousands of different holders. A scam? It's all concentrated in just a handful of wallets. Real projects grow out of a shared joke or genuine interest, while scams are fueled by that anonymous, coordinated hype. You want to look for transparent developers, not anonymous ones. And ask yourself, does this thing actually have a purpose, or is its only goal to get me to buy?
So finally, let's just make a quick checklist of the biggest red flags you got to watch for. If one single wallet holds more than, say, 20% of all the coins, that is a huge warning sign. If the developers are anonymous, just stay away. If you feel this intense pressure to buy something that literally just launched, be super skeptical. Look for those weird, small, repetitive bot buys in the transaction history. And check out their social media. Does it all seem a little fake? These are the classic signs of a loaded deck.
And that brings us to the final, most important question of all. Look, meme coins are all about hype and momentum. That's just their nature. But there's a world of difference between a real community building something fun together and a manipulated crowd that's being led straight off a cliff. Learning how to see that difference, that is the key to surviving and maybe even thriving in this absolutely crazy space.